move. Sehemu mi kamera na What I'm seeing is
Ghana Export Promotion Authority, and this morning she is supported as always by the Deputy Chief Executive in charge of Human Resource and Administration, Mr. Albert Kasim Diwura, and the Deputy Chief Executive in charge of Operations and Finance, Mr. Samuel Odeju. He will share highlights of the reports to be launched to enable us to appreciate the insights better. We would also like to acknowledge the presence of heads of ministries, departments, and agencies, and stakeholders from the private sector, some of who have come from Accra to join us here. We're equally grateful and appreciative of friends from the media houses who have honored our invitation to be here. Thanks for coming. We also like to acknowledge the presence of members of the management team and regional heads of Ghana Export Promotion Authority from 7 regional offices nationwide. You're warmly welcome. Moving on very quickly, I would kindly like to invite Dr. Ikwasa Abiasari to officially welcome us. The speeches will be delivered from the high table. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Honorable Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Mr. Obedan Amise, Chairman of the Board of Directors, distinguished guests from the ministries and agencies of government, esteemed members of the Ghanaian Export Authority, my colleagues, staff, members of DEPA, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. Just a minute for me. I'm quite excited to see a number of people here, and knowing also that people are watching for I'm so excited. We are here in Kumasi, not in Accra, because we wanted to see our new offices in Kumasi. And we think that everything is also always being done in Accra. We should try and decentralize this program that we do. And that's why we are doing this. Next year, it will happen in another city here. So we are so happy that you are here. When you are done, you can go upstairs and have a feel of the DEPA offices in Ashanti region, which also features 4.5 million. In recent times, our country has been great at looking outwards for trade. At our best, we have a lot of effort to offer to every corner of the globe. We consider exporting as key, a part of our economic international activity as it ever has been. It is crucial to our prosperity. We believe it is very crucial to our stability and security as a nation and world. Whether in creating jobs, raising wages, or growing our economy, our exporters lead the way. They account for a chunk of our productivity growth and have been a major component of Ghana's good economic performance since 2017. In particular, exports build economic resilience and bring the higher skill, higher paying jobs that we will need to thrive in this country. This means Ghana's prosperity is inseparably bound up with this entrepreneurial spirit, with the ability and boldness to look beyond our own borders for growth opportunities. The report that is about to be presented is a good illustration of this. So I'd like to thank the Research Department of Ghana Export Promotion Authority and congratulate them for the painstaking collection of data from our entry points and the cooperation of agencies such as the Ghana Revenue Authority, freight forwarders, and even our exporters. If I left your name out, I'm sorry. But you have all helped for this 2019 edition of the non-traditional export statistics. In the last year, we saw Ghana exports of goods and services rise, and we punch above our weight. In many ways, we are still short of our full potential, and we know that improved exports lead to greater profits and generate tax revenues to support the public services on which we depend, from health all the way to defense. I am happy to announce that for the year under review, Ghana Export Promotion Authority, with the support and cooperation of the export fraternity, continued to record a growth in non-traditional exports. The total exports of the country grew by an impressive 8.53%, of which NTEs, the non-traditional exports, accounted for 18% and amounted to a sum of 2.8 billion USD. Although we have a good score, we can't afford to pat ourselves on the back. The world around us is changing faster than we may realize. Patterns of global trade are always changing, but in recent years, the changes have been more noticeable than ever, what with COVID and all. That makes it all the more important for us to understand the global trade properly and to keep close tabs on how the Ghanaian economy and economies around the globe, especially Africa, is faring. Which markets are growing and which are shrinking? Which products and services are doing well and which are doing less well? At GEPA, we believe that access to reliable data on international trade flows is vital. We know that we need that data to make informed decisions as a nation. And you won't find many better at collecting and interpreting data than at GEPA. Mr. Samdetu will soon tell us what's in the report, and I don't intend to go to the figures. So let us just say that we must continue to work on rules for free trade, a strong multilateral system and open markets. We must be open where possible and protect where necessary, but in all and by all means, we must be competitive. Once again, I would like to thank all of you for taking the time to join today's event, both physically and online.
Camera crew, because we are streaming live, you tend to be blocking our cameras. So please find out where the most appropriate place is for you to stand. Thank you very much. Next, we have the board chairman of the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, Mr. Sanjay Said, and briefly address us. Sir, you have the platform. Good morning again.
Honorable Minister, representatives from the Ministry and agencies of government, executive, management, and staff of the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, members of the Ghanaian Export Fraternity, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of the Governing Council and on my own behalf, I warmly welcome you to this significant event on the calendar of the Ghana Export Promotion Authority. The Ghana Export Promotion Authority Board, which I chair, fully supports every effort geared towards achieving the mandate of our authority and that is to facilitate, develop, and promote Ghanaian exports. The reason why this event is so significant is the opportunity we have to look back on our work and review our performance over the past year. It's not merely to gloat over how well we've done or who to remind over fallen figures, but to analyze and enable key stakeholders in the export sector to map out practical strategies based on insights to help get back inch closer to this target. Talking about targets, let me briefly touch on the National Export Development Strategy. The document which I hold in my hand, which has the input close to over 100 experts drawn from export associations, academia, private sector, government, and representatives from civil society organizations sitting over a number of group sessions. I'm delighted that Honorable Deputy Minister is here because we are at a point where the strategy is awaiting cabinet approval. We believe the implementation of the strategy will spur our efforts to achieve our revenue target of US $25.3 billion by year 2029, almost 10 years from now. Sounds like a very daunting figure, especially when we are hit by the unforeseen situations like this pandemic we are going through now. However, I'm positive that as resilient as Ghanaians are, we all find innovative means of pulling through this one too. We are proud of what GIPA has been able to achieve the last 50 years, and we are also quite well aware of the bigger task that lies ahead of us as an authority in the next few decades. It is my hope that as we get to listen to the highlights of the 2019 report, we will work closely together to remain focused on the goal of achieving our target now, which I'm notorious for. I'm going to take some few minutes to share my personal view. I made some few points that I think are relevant. You know, Ghana, we have a 10-point industrialization agenda going on now. As you are aware, we recently have the BW set up the assembly plant. We have Toyota coming. I believe we have Hyundai also coming. These are all planned activities that is helping the number that we originally thought of raising from 10 billion to 23 billion. The manufacturing sector is going to be a big part of what we're trying to do. With that, I also want to say that as a country, we need to practice the multiplier effect a little bit more. What do I mean? Just like the Jews, just like the Lebanese, just like the Indians like to buy from each other, we in Ghana don't. We prefer to buy from imports. We don't support one of our own. So when we spend a cedi here, the cedi doesn't stay in the society. The cedi, if I give the cedi goes to a foreigner, which goes out of the country, continue to cause problems with our deficit, export deficit. So we should support what we make here. We should eat what we grow here. And we should make sure that for every cedi that we spend, it stays within our community about 10 times by buying from one another. I think to me, that's the missing link, that if we are, the export is trying to help us improve export, then we have to consume what we make first, and then we can send the excess out. It will keep the money here. So please keep in mind the multiplier effect. Anytime you take money to go and spend, especially if you have a comparable product, buy it from your own. The money stays here and we grow as a country. Another thing that I want to talk about is that this document took about 3 years in the making. It's done now. So what are we going to do about it? What we have to do is that we have to practice what I like to say, cumulative leadership. This document should stay in place regardless of what government is in power. If we continue to just follow the strategies and the plans that we put here, government after government, then it's very realistic that we're going to achieve our goals. You are aware that Ghana is ranked the 7th richest country in Africa. You can Google it and see it. With a GDP of about 67 billion, we rank 7th. Also, Ghana is among the top 5 in terms of rich in natural resources. But how come we still don't feel like we're a rich country? It goes back to the same fact that we don't support one another. So we are capable of doing everything we can. And the team led by CEO, you see they've been everywhere. They do the cashew seedling, we do coconut seedling, we do so many things as part of our effort to try to help the Ghana export to grow, but most importantly, to produce more. We have some of the 1D, 1F factories out there, but if we don't produce enough of whatever is it that they need to make their end product, how are we going to do it? So my message to you all, you guys, please, let's support one another. Before you spend a city, make sure you can buy it from your own. If you do that, Ghana will be a better place. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sanjay. And you always have a way of keeping your audience quite engaged, and we're very grateful. Thank you, sir. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've been waiting for. Honorable Ahun Kabinse, once again, we are delighted to have you here.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Chairman, Sanjay Sehadi, Ghana Export Chief Executive, Doctor, the two able deputy, members of the business community, members of the media, members of other sister agencies. It's a pleasure to be with you here this morning. Let me first of all, on behalf of my Minister, Honorable Alan Chimanti, just congratulate all of those that put together this report. Ayeko, well done indeed. A few weeks ago, our Honorable Minister of Finance went to Parliament to present a mid-year review. A mid-year review amongst a time when we have COVID-19. And effectively every plan that we really put together for 2020 was turned upside down with this pandemic. But they say in adversity, one finds opportunity. And the opportunity reflected itself and Ghanaians reaffirming, I use that word very clearly, reaffirming a can-do attitude and a can-do ability. If somebody had told you last year in November that the world would close down, nobody would be able to fly anywhere. The only thing that could move would be goods. We would all be told to stay in our house for 2 or 3 weeks. Hundreds of thousands of people will die. You would have been right to question that person's sanity. But that is where we are. And we are in this situation, and Ghana is so strong. I use this because it is based on Ghana's strength that what Ghana does is possible. It is based on Ghana's abilities, its competencies, its people, that allows Ghana to do what it wants to do. When you listen to the Honorable Minister Kenoforiata's delivery, he talked about the 100 billion cedi program. I'm not going to repeat what he said, but the essence of that program is to industrialize and refocus our attention as a people towards the manufacturing and industrial base. covers a number of areas, but at the core of that is ensuring that we do a number of key things. One, we make more of what we consume. The Made in Ghana that the chairman was referring to. So support your Made in Ghana product. Number two, we ensure that we make items and products that are wanted outside the four corners of Ghana. So whether or not you are Volkswagen, making vehicles for sale both internally and externally, whether you're Joe Drill, building drilling equipment that are exported around the world, whether you're Boris B Farms making fresh chicken that are consumed both in Ghana and exported, whether you are part of the 6 other companies, automobile companies coming in, whether you're making chocolate for export. You'll notice that I haven't mentioned anything to do with raw materials because of the importance of value added. Any aspect of that is a key part of our next 20 years journey as a country. When you bear that in mind also, that in order for us to grow to the level that we wish to grow as a people and as a country, which has been clearly laid out by our president, whether we talk about a Ghana beyond aid, an industrialized Ghana, we simply can't do it just by selling to the 30-odd million Ghanaians alone. We can't. Every country that has gone along this journey to grow has had a strong domestic market and at the same time has ensured a very active export market. We want some of the money that other people have outside Ghana to help Ghana grow by providing products and services that they want, of a quality that they want, of a volume that they want, and of a nature that they want. So that means industry, who are represented here, have to up their game. That means government has to up their game. That means GEPA has to up their game. Hence, the strategy Mr. Chairman talked about earlier. But in doing that, the role sort also changes. I think this is where I want to really congratulate Chair, the CEO of the team. Today we talk about the export of vehicles, not just the export of cocoa beans. We talked about non-traditional export, which I know is the basis of this report, where I'm told we've grown by 8% worth about just over nearly $3 billion. That dialogue change, that measurement change is an important aspect to see how well we are doing in this path. This path towards growth, wealth creation, and uplifting the 30+ million Ghanaians who want jobs and opportunities to grow. So as we prepare to launch this, let us remind ourselves of a couple of things as well. At the top of the list, maybe 3 years ago, if we had been sitting here, we would have been talking about the African Growth Opportunity Act, export to the US market. We would have talked about the EU export to the Economic Union of Europe. We may have even talked about 1 or 2 other countries within our sub-region. But today we can add one more to that, the Continental Free Trade Area. Up to 54 countries, 1.2 billion odd people, and an economy of $3 trillion. It means that our markets and opportunities have grown. So as we think about what that means for GEPA and for non-traditional export, the dialogue changes. The second point I want to add is that we now have in President Akufo-Addo's government, a government that has made it very clear, crystal clear, The role of his government is to provide the environment for business to flourish, not to step on the toes or in the way of business. When we say the private sector is the engine of growth, this government lives it, talks it, and acts it. When we talk about key activities like one district, one factory, its very essence and design is to address all those points that I mentioned earlier. And as we move forward into 2021, the role of GEPA in harnessing and ensuring that we are front and center on the continental free trade area and making Ghana the most Ghanaian-made product, the most attractive product on this continent and further becomes key. GEPA needs to make sure that it has the right people, the right strategies, and the right finances to make that happen. And we as government will support GEPA 100%, and in so doing, support the private sector. Truly, there are a few things that I believe we should now start looking forward to even greater anticipation. One of them should be the numbers on non-traditional exports, because they provide a real manifestation testimony to what it is really happening, not what it is that we are saying is happening. They say the proof is in the eating of the pudding. So this should show us that. So it gives me great pleasure as we anticipate to hear the good news to formally declare the launching of this report. And I so much look forward to hearing the good news from GEPA. Well done to all concerned. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Amunzi. If there's anything that you can take away with you, at least the key things, make what we consume. I mean, buy, at least in your little corner, what you can do to help is to buy what is consumed in Ghana. Ensure we're making products that have value add, and also industries, GEPA and government will have to up their game if we are going to achieve anything. Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Samuel, thank you. The Deputy Chief Executive of Ghana Export Promotion Authority will share highlights of the report now. Thank you.
Okay. Honorable Minister. Chief Executive. My job is pretty simple. It's to share highlights of the report we are launching today as the 2019 non-traditional exports performance. In doing that, I'll go through a few slides. My first slide will talk about the mandates and the focus of GEPA. I'd like to talk about that slide because it's continuously remind us of what we are mandated to do and what we keep doing. Then I will talk about a summary of the projects that we embarked on in 2019, a brief summary. Then I'll talk about the performance summary. I expect the slides to be showing. Next slide. Thank you, Chairman. Then I'll talk about the top 10 products performance, then the sector contributions. Then for the first time, we want to talk briefly about services exports. Then where are destinations, top destinations for 2019. Now this is my favorite slide, as I spoke about. This slide basically tells us what the mandate of KEPA, as a national trade promotion organization, is. We are supposed to promote and develop and facilitate export of Ghanaian products, Ghanaian main products. And we do that through the development of the products and increasing its supply base. We also do that through market development and introducing our products to various markets around the world. We do that by disseminating market information to the businesses that are exporting and potential exporters. We also build the capacity of the exporters because we believe that to be a good exporter, you need to understand the markets. You need to know how to negotiate. You need to know how to price. And you need to stay on top of the markets. Then we build consensus with our various stakeholders in developing policy, in developing relevant information, or disseminating relevant information and talking about export awareness, because I'm sure that there are a lot more people still in Ghana who do not understand exports and do not even know about the existence of Ghana export promotion after 50 years of existence. And so, especially the youth, we tell them about the possibility or the potential of export and get them to be interested in it. In doing that, we focus on various products, from fruits and vegetables to cashew, to processed cocoa, shea, fish and aquaculture products. We look at root and tubers, daily agriculture products. We look at apparels, even jewelry. And like the minister said, we are talking about processed products, and you'll see in a minute what processed products contributed to the number we are referring to. And more importantly, services, which is the game changer in many countries now. And we believe that Ghana has the potential to also sell our services to the world, which we have started doing. So moving on, I would like to take you through briefly what we did in terms of projects as far as Ghana Export Promotions mandate was concerned in 2019. 2019 happened to be our 50th anniversary, and we marked that by doing a number of projects which are worth mentioning. First of all, our governing act is 50 years, and so we took the opportunity of our Golden Jubilee to begin the revision of the act, and currently it is receiving Cabinet's attention. We also, like the chairman and the minister and the chief executive has said, went through a painstaking process to develop a 10-year National Export Development Strategy document that brought together close to 200 stakeholders within the ecosystem to work on, and we are looking forward to begin the implementation. And within that document, you can find a lot of the things that all the speakers have referred to, and that is going to be a game changer as far as Ghana exports and Ghanaian exports is concerned. And within that 10 years, we are looking to achieve over 25 billion in exports. And that comes in all the BWs and all the pharmaceuticals and all the 10-point agenda plans that the government has already launched. We also took the opportunity to continue the deployment of our supply-based interventions, especially in the area of the agribusiness sector, where we supplied over 13 million pineapple suckers to our farmers to increase our supply base. We worked on coconut, and it's still ongoing. We worked on vegetables to increase the capacity, and we also worked on yams to increase the capacity of supply, because our yams are #1 on the world market. We also took the opportunity to introduce some programs and events to look at our value chains development in some areas. I mean, we did the first African Cocoa and Chocolate Expo. That was meant to introduce our youth into what we can do apart from chocolate with our cocoa. And it was a hugely successful event. We also did the first International Cocoa Festival, which was, African Cocoa Festival, which was being done in Canada. And we brought it to Ghana for the first time, which brought a lot of, people in the coconut actors to Ghana, and we hope to sustain it. We also did the Youth in Exports, which is a very important program, because when you look at our people, especially our businessmen in export, all of them are in a certain age bracket. If we will sustain our export and bring more foreign exchange into this country, then we need to get the youth involved and let them appreciate the rudiment of export. So we launched that program, and it's going well. We also took advantage to look at our various art and craft centers across the world, across Ghana, because we see that that sector has a lot of opportunities. We are currently looking at Ibri. We are renovating it. We did Abonke beads, Otters beads, and we built them a whole production factory with machinery, which is a very huge departure from what they used to do by employing rudiments, very old and difficult methods in producing the beads. And we launched it a couple of weeks ago. We are building a straw market for Olga. We've acquired land to build a straw market for the women of Olga who provide straw for a beautiful Olga basket that is very well known in the world. So these are briefly some of the projects that we went through in 2019, and we are very proud of them. Some of them we are still working on. Now the performance for 2019, as already been mentioned, we achieved a non-traditional export target or performance of 2.9. That's 2.889, approximately $2.9 billion, as compared to $2.813 billion last year. And that's an improvement over last year of about 3.1%. Now, what is exciting for us is that this 3.1% is on top of the 10% that we achieved in 2018 over 2019, which is growth and growth, and it takes us close to our target and gives a good foundation for us to start the implementation of the NEDS. And this growth was primarily driven by processed and semi-processed sector. So, the thing about shipping our raw materials abroad should be looked at. If we process it some more, we get more money in the country, and that is what this government is about. Then we compare the non-traditional exports to the national exports, total exports, which basically looks at shipping our raw materials across the shores for it to be used as raw materials in certain countries. And compared to what we produce in Ghana and export, it's already been said, we are still hovering around the 18% mark, and it gives a huge opportunity to increase it. It means that we haven't even scratched the surface. So we need to do more as far as our contribution to total export is concerned. So Madam has already mentioned that total export saw a growth of 8.53% in 2019 over 2018. And that's non-traditional export contributed 18% of that. And like I said, it presents a huge opportunity for us to do more as far as processing is concerned. Now, the top 10 performance, as you see, cocoa butter, cashew. Cashew needs a special mention because last year cashew was on top. This year we dropped in cashew about $100 million because even though we produced, we realized that the demand wasn't there, or the demand came late because our business partners apparently got their funding late or something. And so cashew dropped, but it's still second in the top 10 list. Cocoa cake, cocoa paste, articles of plastics, all the plastics that are produced in a country, canned tuna, palm oil, and palm oil also needs a special mention because in 2018, palm oil was just about $2 million US. In 2019, palm oil, jumped to a whopping $112 million. So it means that we are doing well as far as palm oil is concerned. Iron and steel, cocoa butter, cocoa powder, and then the aluminum products. And these are the top 10 performance, and that contributed to about 1.66 billion out of the 2.9 billion. Then the sector contributions, as I said, you see that the semi-processed and the processed sector contributed a chunk of our performance, which means that we need to do more to process our own product in here before we export, even if it's semi-processed. You realize that out of this 2.455 billion, a lot of it is cocoa. And it's cocoa not in chocolate form, it's cocoa processed into butter, into cake, into liquor, and we export them to the people that we would have exported the raw beans to. And it's still valuable, and in fact, gives us more value than exporting the beans in its raw form. So out of this 2.44 billion, a lot of it was processed cocoa. Like I said, cashew saw about 37% drop, which really drove a great contribution down to as against last year by 27.82%. The area of opportunity that we still see, and our chief executive's baby, is the handicraft and the industrial art sector, where you have all the artifacts and the textiles and all that. We see a lot of opportunity there because the contribution is still below 1%, which is about 14.52 for 2018. And for us, it's an opportunity because it's an area that actually employ a lot of the youth. And, if we can do well there, we'll get a lot of the youth off the streets. So it's a challenge, and we have started working very assiduously on that area. Then, like I said, for the first time, we are talking about services export. We see that services export is actually a game changer in world trade. If you go to India, most of their export is actually not in products, but in services. And we think that in Ghana, we have a lot of talent. We have a lot of talent, but still we have a lot of youth unemployed. Some other countries need them. And so we have launched very deep into the services area, and we are working with various stakeholders in the space to see what we can export as far as our services is concerned. It's export because if an accountant from Ghana goes to work in Benin, their money comes back to Ghana, and all that we are about is to bring foreign exchange into the country. if somebody from Senegal comes to Kolebu to treat himself or herself, the money stays in Ghana in foreign exchange. And so it's a space that we are actually launching very deep into as far as our mandate is concerned. So in 2019, we worked with universities, public and private universities, about 11 of them. We did a 3-city tour in in Nigeria. And then we ended up bringing in a lot of foreign students from Nigeria to attend our universities. I mean, public universities, we brought in about 1,735 Nigerians into our public universities. We brought private universities, we brought in about 4,738 people registering to attend our university. So we are in deep collaboration with the universities to bring in more foreigners to attend universities here. And this program is going to continue throughout the sub-region. In ICT, we also partnered with Accra Digital Center to go on missions to see what we can to Barbados to work there, and we intend to work deeper with them on that. And then professional services, we did missions to Qatar, we did missions to Malta, we did missions to Slovenia, and discussions are ongoing to create opportunities for our professionals in the area of accounting, lawyers, architects, and all that into this country. So services is up on the radar, and we are looking at it very closely. Then in our export destinations, I mean, in all 2019, we exported to about 155 countries, and then top of them are in the EU markets. And then we also have the ECOWAS market. We have other countries, and we have other African countries, which for us is huge because of the continental free trade area in Africa that is coming up. And we realized that we recorded an increase in the ECOWAS market, and we also recorded an increase in the other African countries market, which is a very good base and a very good opportunity to leverage, even as we go into the continental free trade area, where all markets within Africa is actually open up for everybody. If we don't take advantage, others will take advantage of our own market. And so as DEPA, we are ready to lead the charge. So that is basically the performance highlights for 2019. And we look forward to really implementing our national export strategy as been spoken about. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel. So slowly we are coming to the very end of this session. We are still within 1.5 hour period. I'd quickly like to acknowledge people who have joined us here. So we have a representation from the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council, the National Communications Authority, the National Petroleum Authority, Obibini Blackman, Angel Group of Companies who have graciously offered to refresh us also. Lamshare, Boris B. Farms, the National Board for Small Scale Industries, Ghana Exim Bank, the Association of Ghana Industries, Ghana Statistical Service, UNIJ, Springs and Bolt, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, PPRSD, the National Center for National Culture, Kumasi, Ghana Standards Authority, the Chamber of Commerce, Health Agencies, Food and Drugs Authority, and the team from West Blue, coming from Accra, and Ghana Revenue Authority, Customs Division. We are very grateful that you managed to join us here. Thank you very much. Wrapping up, please note that you will receive highlights of the report in your email. You are minimizing your risk exposure. You're not going to give you hard copies. You will receive soft copies in your email. And on this note, it's a wrap. We will have exclusive media interviews at our backdrop outside there because we wouldn't want media to crowd around our special guests here. So kindly note that and give them the appropriate social distancing that we have for. And we ask God for journeying mercies for everyone who's going back to their destination. And thank you once again for joining us. We're very grateful. Thank you very much. Have refreshments behind, but that's after media interviews, and as we are interacting, you will be served. Thank you very much. I'm sorry. In case anyone has a few comments after discussion, I'll bring the mic to you. Raise your hand up.
Thank you very much. My name is Stephen Campbell. The original chairman of Ghana Country for Community Leaders. I'm very happy about the initiatives, and I'm also happy about the rental of export of services. It's very, very, very important. When you look at India and China, they support technology aspects.
Those who develop various technology products, software, and so on, that's we can develop it. So I'm passing that we look at that area, especially integrating technology education very well into our curriculum, so that the youth can come up and produce various technology products. This is very interesting. And I also just want to say that it's going to join Chamber of Commerce, whether in terms of capacity building, documentation, best practices, and corporate governance. You will have all these training, whether I think export, we were, and mentioned agua, and I think we do all these things over there to promote export. Thank you very much.
Our child. We did it. Other Roman people, the America, the Santa Memo, the Chihuahua had it. The Shramo said, more year meeting. That's it. More calm yet to have. Yes, I want to question the the that's us. I said to one on Friday. Yes, you could not say, and someone will pay in Memoria, Mela Casa, my memory. Because Rafon, the Madaro, and the native. The Jahan
Sabi, the training. Now, I think I do it of the beginning black man. First, let them go by what go. Omoya keke drona. Na omoya ba from so for because she knew the honor, never motion. Keke drona would be not only. And I'm told we don't be very research. Now they keke drona about. Because I think I don't sound again. Yeah, friend. Change that. A man I almost said to you, so good to me. Yeah. Now, and some have a one. It took a year 18 for Ghana Export and Promotion Authority. The Shabba Magaro. A Juma in the people. When the Yama for UK, and the Yama for Nigeria. The two baby, some of it my large quantity. I am very good. Young, I am. Now, a Juma or Ghana. I say, and young Casa enemies. So, yeah, Juma for Juma. Officers, crowd, I'm on support. A fire, yeah, they don't fashion, yeah, excuse me, you know. And the courier, the registration for the product. Now, they will have a yard and a call hospital. We did it. Every month, you are sending a massive member. But so your product, that's our time. That's a big ground. Yeah, let talk say, but your minister our engine and first. Yeah, let talk say, be our product aspire into brand, grab a radio and say, almost in your almost said, yes, almost from said the product. Just massive and later. Then somehow it didn't get cultural. Yeah, later. I mean, come and pass our Emmanuel because a minimum on one. And can yes, I can somehow walk on the doors. The young, the best year later on, embrace them, and to also be one. There was somebody now, mobile, young, that's the engineer. One.
Black man, that brings us to the very end of the session. And like I said earlier, our special guest will, sorry. I want to say that before the year ends, we will have the Exporters Forum where we will have a conversation about all that challenges that we are facing on so we need black man. Answer that I feel the very and can area is the farm the Exporters Forum. The best summary, they are sample. Once in a city, everybody Exporters Forum. Some forum that's it. And no energy they need the exporters to think and share person every solve issues. So how I hire administration part, how I have a higher the society, my bad exporters forum. It's the best higher and then they have a launch report. You have a samba. You have been in for one casaka. And I must see. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining.